Guys, it's Emily, and today I'm here to bring you part 1 of my my August wrap-up. I've already read 5 books this month, and I'm going on vacation later in the month, so I figured I'll probably get a lot of books read then, so why not break it up once again into 2 pieces. The first book I finished in August was the Luke Immersion Bible Study by John Indermark, and I read this with my Wednesday night Bible study over the summer, and it's an 8-week program. I did not get much out of this book, mostly because my group ended up reading like 3 chapters of Luke a week, and the chapters that we read in class didn't always coordinate with what chapters the chapter in the book was going over, and so we didn't really use this book in our class like at all. And it got to the point where I wouldn't even read it before class. I would just read it when I felt like it because I knew it wasn't going to be discussed in class. I don't know, I didn't get much out of it because of that. I think this book would be great if you were in a Bible study that was actually strictly following the book and you actually got good discussion out of it. But I enjoyed this book. Of course, it goes over the book of Luke and talks about how it reflects Jesus' ministry, and how it's a tale of finding your purpose, and I don't know. It was fine, but I didn't get that much out of it. The next book I finished was another religious book, and that is The Joyful Christian by C.S. Lewis. I read Mere Christianity and the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis last year, and I really enjoyed both of them, and I wanted to get into more of his works, and my mom happened to be giving this away last summer, and I decided to save it from the giveaway pile. And I read it over my morning devotional time, and I really enjoyed it. It's got all the highlights from his most famous works, Mere Christianity, the Screwtape Letters, The Abolition of Man, The Four Loves, the Surprised by Joy, just all his famous works that you've probably read or at least heard about are quoted in this book. And I was reading about 2 a day, and I enjoyed. I got a lot of good info out of this, and it was definitely something that I kept thinking about. There were several passages in here that were particularly interesting. There's one about the nature of miracles and how Jesus' miracles are really a speeding up of natural processes, which was quite interesting. And then, yeah, it was just really cool. And of course, because it's C.S. Lewis and he's a white man writing in the 1940s and 50s, there's sometimes things that aren't politically correct in here that kind of take you back today, but in his time were perfectly normal things to think and say. But yeah, I enjoyed this one, and I definitely recommend it if you're a C.S. Lewis fan or if you're looking to get into C.S. Lewis. Either way, it's a great opener for Lewis. The next book I read was The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith, and this is the second book in the Cormoran Strike series, and I got this at Barnes & Noble. It was a bargain book, but I ended up listening to most of it on audio at work just because it, was available from the library, and I figured, why not? I would get through it faster, and yeah. So this is a book about Cormoran Strike, who is a detective in London, and his assistant Robin Ellicott, and they are solving the murder of a famous writer who was about to publish a book that was going to be very slanderous towards several prominent people in the publishing industry. And so it's about Strike and Robin going out and finding out who killed him and why. And like before, there's sort of like a Cormoran and Robin might get together, they might not, but Robin is engaged to Matthew, her longtime boyfriend, so we'll see what happens in book 3, but I personally like the fact that Robin and Cormoran are just friends. I know a lot of people ship them and want them to get together, but I actually would be really happy if Matthew and Robin stayed together. But of course, they're making Matthew into being a very jerk, basically, and so, yeah, that's kind of disappointing. So we'll see. I really enjoyed this, though. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I actually think I enjoyed it better than the first one, because in the first one, the murderer was kind of implausible to me, and I didn't really like that, but this one, the murderer made a lot more sense, and I enjoyed having murders that made sense. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely recommend this if you read the first one and enjoyed that. It's definitely along the same lines. The next book I read was The Grownup by Gillian Flynn, which is a 64-page short story, and I read this at work on audio. It's only about 80 minutes long, so it wasn't too much trouble, and I finished it in about in one morning. And yeah, this is a story about a woman who works as a psychic, and one day she has a customer whose house is apparently haunted, and she comes over to the house to whatever the word is, clean it up, get the spirits out of it, and she meets the woman's stepson, Miles, who's very creepy, and she is very disturbed by what happens, and creepy things happen, and there's twists and turns. And a lot of people have said they don't really like this book because they feel like it's too short and it doesn't clear up the ending well enough. But I personally thought the ending was fine, and I didn't have any problem with the fact that it was open ending, because I just immediately assumed that the way I thought it was going to end was the way that it really ended. So yeah, I would recommend this if you're looking for a short read, or if you've read any other Gillian Flynn and you like it. I would classify it as sort of like a thriller slash, well, not really a horror, but a thriller for sure. So yeah, I greatly enjoyed this, and it was a nice way to pass a morning at work. The last book I want to discuss is Matthew, the Sermon on the Mount from the Explore the Bible series, and I went through this with my small group on Sunday mornings, and sort of like the Luke book, we didn't actually stick very close to the book, and so therefore I didn't get much out of it. I think it would be really great if your group actually went through it and reviewed the questions and whatever, instead of just using it as a jumping off point and going on a discussion of whatever they want. I really enjoyed my small group though, so I can't say that I'm too upset that we didn't really use this book that well. I will say that I've been reading a lot of religious books this month, and so I'm actually glad to have finished them and be able to cut down a little on my not on my religious reading and just stick with my daily devotional and nothing else for the next few weeks. Alright, my battery's about to go out, so I'm going to wrap this up and just say that I hope everyone is having a great first half of August, and I will be back with part 2 later on. Bye!